So before we start the video, I want to let you guys know that I do coaching. Coaching is going to be $50 a piece. It's going to last from 1 to 2 hours. All the coaching information is going to be in the description below. And I also have a Patreon if you want to support me further or just have access to all the coaching sessions. Subscribe for only $3.50 a month. Thank you guys. Enjoy the video. Alright, what's up guys? We are back with another commentary. Today, I have a very interesting game. And this was a game where we were pretty much gonna lose. But we made a huge comeback. And I'm just gonna be talking about what goes through my head when playing out this game. This game was essentially very hard, but we ended up coming out with the win. And I'm gonna be going over concepts and ideas that maybe you can use in your game so that you can potentially come back from these situations as well. So let's walk into the laning phase. With Yasuo, he's kind of annoying, and once he starts getting his items, he's gonna be a lot harder to deal with because once he gets more attack speed, that's when he gets very hard to outplay. Because he can just start autoing you with lethal tempo. He gets his stack super quick. And so I kind of play this lane pretty slow. Generally, Yasuo gets to dictate the early game. But we're going to try to keep the wave here. So if you see here, even on the first wave, Yasuo can just push in. But I think it's best for me when Yasuo hits level 2 that I keep the wave around here. And so I just made sure to hold the minions to make sure the wave doesn't completely crash, and I'm able to get the minions a little bit more safely. Now we're just farming safely under our tower, just making sure we can grab all the minions that we can without taking too much poke. Yasuo hits level 2, so I kind of got to be a little bit careful here and just kind of respect his level 2. I'm going to hit level 2 here as well. Now we see Jarvan coming in on the minimap, so I'm immediately going to E in and just start hitting him with auto attacks. He flashes, and we pick up the kill here. So we actually get a lead on Yasuo. So that's really good for us. Elise comes too, but we're just going to back off. Unfortunately with the Elise here, we can't really do much to the wave. So however the wave state is, whether it's good or bad, we have to just back here because Elise can just kill us, right? And so we have to deal with the state of the wave and the lane, just how it is. Just take the kill, get the gold back, and come back into lane. So as you see here, Yasuo is level 3 and I'm level 2. I'm only halfway into level 3. And so he actually has an EXP lead on me, and the wave is pushing into him. So this kind of sucks. We're going to be a little bit behind, even though we have an extra longsword. So he tries to get aggressive, but generally the trade was pretty good for me, and here's why. And so he's level 3, I'm level 2, but even then, I'm just here fighting with my wave, and the minions are hitting him, and I just try to get as much damage as I can as possible. And so we kind of come out even in the trade, even though he has a level lead. Now we still have to be a little bit careful here, because with a little bit of attack speed from Yasuo, he can still outplay the situation. He has win wall. Generally, he just has a lot of tools to deal with you. So here I notice Yasuo isn't in lane, and it seems like he's not coming back here. And he's not moving top with the Elise, and so I'm just going to hard shove this in, crash it, and just look for the back. I can heal up and potentially come back with another item, so that it might be easier to lane against Yasuo. Now we ended up crashing in the wave here, and if you see the state of the wave, it's actually going to be pushing into me here. And so I don't have to really do too much. And I don't really want to fight Yasuo under the minion wave because he has a lot of mobility. And so it's going to be really hard for me to place good daggers. And especially with this win walls as well, I'm just going to let it push into me. I don't really have to do too much. So he's just going to push in. Now we see Jarvan onto the side. So I immediately go in on that dagger. Just make sure I dodge his Q so I don't be under any threat of dying. We actually end up picking up the kill. And so we're just going to hard shove this and look for another back. And so Jarvan's actually doing a really good job just pressuring mid. That's kind of the thing with Yasuo, is that Yasuo is pretty easy to gank. And so We just want to put him in positions where he has to walk up or farm, and potentially we can just pick up kills with jungle pressure. Now we come back into the mid lane, and we're just going to be farming and just kind of playing a little bit slow. Thing is, Yasuo still has a pretty big EXP lead. He's level 6 and I'm level 5. He also has Berserker Greaves and Lethal Tempo, which makes it really hard for me to actually outplay him. And so I'm just looking to make plays on the map and farm. Yes, I might be able to outplay, but there's very little room to outplay him when he has that much attack speed. And so I'd rather just focus my attention on the map and try to help out my team. And so after we clear this wave, I'm actually looking to go bottom because I see Jarvan bottom and I see Morgana pushing up into the tower with Ezreal. And so in order for us to increase the success rate of this gank from the jungler, I'm just going to go in and back him up. This will help me get my bot lane more ahead, but also hopefully I can net a little bit more kills, right? So here, we actually end up picking up 2 kills and poking out the Elise while Yasuo just gets to farm mid. It's going to be a trade-off. Yasuo is going to push in mid, make me lose waves. He's going to get platings while, I make a cheeky roam bottom. I was willing to go for this trade because there's not much I can do against Yasuo at this point. It's going to be really hard to even interact with him. And I'd rather just go around on the map and look for something and try to trade instead of just sitting in lane and have to deal with this Yasuo that's just going to be able to outtrade me. Now, at this point, Yasuo is pretty strong. He's a lot stronger than me at the moment. And I have a lot of gold that I want to spend. So I want to look for a back here. Now, my team gets dragged. That's fine. And I see Yasuo kind of hovering around. I don't want to walk into him. But he ends up appearing next to me because of Blast Plant. He uses Ignite. And now I'm really looking for the back. And I have to play really safe and make sure Yasuo doesn't get a kill. Because that would be really bad for me right now. Now I see Yasuo use his second Q, so I set up a Q myself. I go in, and he actually makes a pretty nice play. So that was well played by him. My thought process here was that I was just gonna go in, go for a little bit of poke and just back. Hopefully use Q, eat W, get the second one to jump out. But his EQ flash actually just instantly gets him the knockup. And so I didn't see that coming. Maybe I could have jumped out as soon as Shunpo came up. Maybe I was a little bit slow, but regardless, he went for the right play there, and yeah, I'm just gonna die for that. So now the lane kind of sucks even harder, right? Yasuo's level 8, I'm level 6, and it's gonna be really hard. But I do have Divine here, so maybe I can use this to pressure the Yasuo a little bit more and be able to lane a little bit more efficiently against him. Even then, Yasuo is still really strong, so I'm probably still looking to concede the lane a little bit more. Now we're back in lane, and as you can see, I'm kind of playing pretty back because Yasuo is just perma-shoving here at this point. So I just want to catch the waves and make sure I kind of keep track of where Yasuo is going. I don't want to do anything too crazy. At this point, I don't want to risk getting behind even more if Yasuo finds an outplay on me. And so, again, I'm just going to focus my attention on the map here. So I see Jarvan roaming bottom. I see Ezreal playing aggressive. There's a fight bottom. As soon as I clear the wave, I'm just going to roam straight down and see what I can find. Again, I'm going to be trading mid pressure just to roam bot here. Hopefully pick up some kills. We actually end up picking up the Morg here, and we pick up the Ezreal, and so it's going to be a bit of a trade-off. Now, I was kind of worried about my tower, but Gwen actually TPs here, so that's good with me. And if you see, Gwen is actually fighting the Yasuo, and I'm not too sure how this is going to go. But I'm watching. Yasuo actually messes up the knock-up here. Gwen actually picks up the kill with 1 health. Elise picks up the scrap here. Kills the Gwen, but it's completely fine. And yeah, I would say we were able to pick up 2 kills bottom, so that's the win for us. And also, we were actually able to kill the Yasuo as well and prevent him from getting more platings on the tower. So I'd say overall, it's not a bad trade. Now we come back into lane, and we have Divine. We got Cloth Armor just for the Yasuo. And I'm just going to hard shove this in. And again, I'm looking at bottom. So I'm going to hover around bottom here to see what I can find. Now we see Morgana and we see Ezreal pushing in. And so I thought this was an angle to go in. But I'm looking at the state of the the lane here and looking at their posture, and they actually end up backing. And so it's not worth committing for the roam. I'm just going to go back into lane and farm it. So Yasuo pushes me in here, and he actually walks up to Q me. I see Jarvan behind me, so I'm just going to go in. Try to get my divine procs here. He hits the knockup. We just make sure we guarantee the kill. This is actually really good for me to come back from. When Yasuo is like higher level than me, I actually get more EXP if I'm lower level. And so any kind of kill on Yasuo is going to be really good. Now the game is relatively even and we're 5-1. While Yasuo is dead, we're just going to shove in the wave and we're going to look for some platings. We have to watch here how long Yasuo is going to be in the base. He's right now spawning. And so I'm kind of using this time and trying to time my back and my push in order for me to get a good recall and make sure I don't lose any waves here. Gwen drops a rift for me, so I actually get some gold here, so that's really good. And so we're just going to use this and back up. Yasuo comes back into lane, and I'm just going to back with 1,000 gold and see what I can buy. Now on our back, we actually came back with the Warden's Mail. I feel like going the Warden's Mail is going to help against the Yasuo, and then we're going to build into the Wit's End. We see Jarvan going in on the Yasuo, and so we're going to try to fight here. Nautilus is here as well. And we're going to kill this guy with Divine Procs. He did play well and kill the Jarvan, which kind of sucks. He traded 1-for-1, but as long as Yasuo dies here, we can try to like hinder the lead. Now we see Elise and Ezreal here, and I kind of limit tested a little bit. Try to use my Divine Procs here, but I ended up getting exhausted, and I actually end up dying here, which was pretty bad. We don't want them to get any more advantages here. But Veigar comes in with the ulti. Cleans up the Morg, but I don't think he gets the Ezreal here. Veigar actually ends up dying to the Elise, which is unfortunate. And so this was kind of a sloppy fight. They end up coming out on top. Now, I do want to talk about this limit test just a little bit because I felt like it was somewhat valid. So I saw Ezreal come in with the Elise, and they're kind of split up. There's a wall between them, and so I'm like, okay, maybe I can try to kill Ezreal with Divine Procs and see if I can get out. He was also low on mana, so then I QE, hit him with the Divine. And that wasn't enough, and that was kind of the issue. I wanted to see if I could do a little bit more, but right now I don't really have too much damage. I only have to rely on the Divine. So it ended up not working out, and I was hoping to kill him here, but we ended up actually not, and the moment I saw that Ezreal is still kind of healthy, I just flash out. Now the problem here is that I dodged the Ezreal ult with the W, and I really wanted to pick up this dagger, but I felt like I needed to be frame perfect in order for me to make sure that I get out. So I walk back into the dagger and I try to tip it, but then I missed it slightly, and I think that's what ended up killing me. And that just kind of sucks. So at this point, I have Divine, I have Warden's Mail, and I have Merc Treads, and I feel like I'm not too strong yet. Katarina has 2 spikes. She has her Divine spikes, and then she has her Wit's End spike. And that's when you can start really doing damage. But right now, I don't really do too much because I don't have my Wits. And so a fight breaks out, and I feel like it's kind of lost, but I try to poke at it a little bit, see if I can get something going. And Yasuo actually ended up having shield bow, so I ended up just dying, which kind of sucks. As you can see, I really don't do damage. But Gwen was able to pick up just 1 kill on the Yasuo, so that might be okay. But if you see like the score right now, we're somewhat behind. We're 18 and 12. Now we're 19 and 12. And so the game is going to be pretty hard. We're not very ahead. They have a really fed Elise. Yasuo is just going to get strong as he gets items. And so we're kind of in a pinch here. Now, it's important to note here and analyze the situation so that we kind of have some kind of game plan going in. At this point, I'm not very strong. I need to get my Wit's End before I can start actually doing damage, and so I kind of have to chill out on the plays. The enemy team is all pretty strong. Urgot's pretty strong, Elise is strong, Yasuo is going to be strong regardless of his 6 deaths. Ezreal is going to be scaling and he has exhaust. Morgana's going to be looking for picks. So we have to keep this all in mind in order for us to play this out properly. Now if you look at our team, I'm 6'3". I have my Divine, but I don't have my Wits, so I'm not too strong. Gwen isn't too strong either at the moment. Jarvan's just there going lethality, so he's not going to be too tanky, nor I feel like he's not going to be able to outdamage the enemy team. And then we have a Nautilus that's 1-7 who has a lot of CC, but he's going to be very squishy. The one thing that we have that can save us is going to be this Veigar, because this guy is going to be infinitely scaling. And so, as long as we let Veigar scale, maybe we can turn around fights. So we're going to play around him here. We can still play around our resets and try to like snowball, but right now it's going to be difficult until we get our wits. And so we're going to try to play it slow and play towards our win con right now, which is Veigar. So right now the goal is to just like hold off on their push, because they're going to be pretty strong. And so we have very little to dictate at this point because of how strong they are. And so we have to just like play towards our win con, let Veigar scale, and see if we can make plays and try to like hinder their push. And so here they're actually advancing on our team at the moment. And Jarvan gets a really good knockup, so I follow that up. I mean, we got what we could. We killed 2 people. They killed 3. So we came out 2-3 here. Honestly, not too bad. Again, this is just going to hinder their push. And so yes, they can like push in, but they can't push in as 5 because we were able to pick up some of the kills and put them off the map. And so this is all time we're stalling for Veigar to just farm and scale. So right now we're just trying to stall their push, and we're just going to try to play the game slow. We need to look for perfect opportunities for us to fight as a team and play towards our strengths. I go bot here, but I noticed there's going to be a fight topside, and so I might have to walk over and fight with the team, because collectively as a team, that's probably how we're going to win these fights, right? We're going to need our numbers, and we're going to probably need everyone there for us to actually win. And so I kind of want to group around the team a little bit more. Luckily for us, Elise was bottom, so she's not in the fight. So it's essentially kind of like a 4v4 up here. Look at the picks we're making. This is going to add up for us to just be able to stall out the game. And again, just let Veigar become strong. We have to look closely at the objectives up, because those are potential fighting points. And maybe we can try to win a fight around those objectives. But also we can use this information to know where the enemy team is. And so right now, Yasuo's pushing bottom, Dragon's coming up, so we can assume Yasuo's going to the Dragon. And so all of our team is grouped up right now to go to Drag. So we're gonna go and check it. Gonna be a little bit careful here, because Elise could just like cocoon in the fog and potentially just like one-shot us. We walk in, Elise cocoons us, but we're tanky, so that's good. We were able to tank some CC here. Now, Jarvan gets the Drag, which is good. And we're actually able to pick up some kills here, so that's good. Again, just trying to stall. Making sure that the least amount of people die here so that we're able to hold and defend against their pushes. And so I recall and I come back and I see Elise and Yasuo are dead and Morgana's solo pushing. We see everyone on the map. Urgot's top side, Ezreal's mid. So I'm like, maybe I can just like pick the Morgana here. And so again, this is all just gonna stall. I get hit by the Morq, but I have tenacity, so I'm just going to keep going. I don't think Elise and Yasuo are going to be here, so I can continue to push and go for this kill. It takes a bit of time because I kept getting hit by the Morg vines, but we end up picking up the kill anyway. Now Morgana's dead, I pushed out the wave, and now I'm just looking to back here. And we see everyone gather topside, so we know that 3 people are topside, 4 of our teammates are topside. And Baron is up, so we got to keep that in mind here. I just want to back, just get away from the Yasuo, and they're actually starting the Baron here. So Yasuo gets super aggressive on me, and he actually goes in. I'm just trying to stay alive and potentially stall here. I try to run, but he actually ends up killing me here, which kind of sucks. But if you see the top fight here, you might actually be able to come out of this fight well. The thing is here is that Morgana died. There was 3 people top against the 4 people we have top. So us being bottom, killing Morgana, was actually able to bring Yasuo there. And so we brought 2 people bottom lane, while there's only 3 people on Baron topside. And so as much as we died and we didn't want to die, we were at least able to apply pressure and put 2 people there so that my team is actually able to win the top fight. Now Baron is up, and this is the only objective on the map at the moment. Gwen is split pushing bottom. What we can do is just kind of stall here and let Gwen like hit towers bottom, but also if they get Baron, we're probably looking to pressure. Now, looking at our team right now, I think the only thing we can do is steal. And so if we go in for a fight and we get wiped, then they're actually going to get more than they can, right? And so I'm just looking to just like go for the steal with Jarvan and just run, because we're not trying to die. Once again, if we die, we actually lose so much pressure. So they actually ended up getting Baron here, and so we have to be conscious of their push. Now, if you look on the minimap right now, Yasuo's top, Morgana's at the Baron pit, Ezreal's mid, Urgot is bottom, and Elise is Mia. And so this is good information for us to take in, because we know currently the team is split. At this point, they have Baron, they can dictate and make a move on us. And so we have to be able to maneuver around them and see if they make a mistake. Because at this point, the game is going to be pretty hard for us. We almost have to flip situations in order for us to get our advantages back. Team fights 5v5 is going to be more so high risk, high reward. But when it comes to making picks and sort of seeing where they are on the map, and us being able to go and take advantage of their positioning, maybe they're overextending, then that would be a low risk play if we're all able to collapse on the guy, and a high reward for us, because again, we're stalling, we're getting rid of people on the map, so it delays their push. This way, Veigar is able to scale, and hopefully we'll be able to win fights over time. So we know the enemy team is split right now. We don't know where Elise is, but we know Yasuo is just kind of splitting top. Dragon's also coming up, we should keep that in mind. So I'm just trying to hold off the push here. I was kind of expecting Yasuo to just like back, but he's actually committing to the push, which is a little bit greedy. We can maybe take advantage of this because we know the team is split. Veigar gets a pick on Ezreal. Yasuo is still pushing in. Gwen kills the Morg. This is all really good for us. We have 3 people up here, Gwen collapsing. And so we're gonna try to make a pick on this Yasuo. We actually ended up picking up the kill and getting the shutdown. Now, 3 of them are dead. So this is going to delay their Baron push. They actually kind of messed up here by playing a little bit too aggressive and being overextended. And we're just going to be able to take advantage of that. I don't know what happened mid lane, but they were able to pick up 2 kills. So this is all going to be good for us delaying the push. So with people off the map, we were actually able to just pressure the drag here, get the drag, and also get the bounty. And all this is going to add up. Now at this point, we want to be making sure that we're clearing minions so that they don't have minions to push with. But also we have to take into account where the enemy decides to push and place themselves on the map. And so we have Gwen bottom, so right now, she's dragging pressure, which is good. Yasuo is now split from the team. We saw 3 people mid lane, and so we can use that information to maybe get aggressive and make a play. If you look at the minimap right now, Elise is bottom. And so maybe we can try to make a fight here, 4v3. Now, they did leave bottom, and so we might have to fight them here, but we're going to go in for the fight here, because Veigar does go in. So it is a 4v4. But I'm going to play around the Veigar here. Make sure that he's able to get damage off. Now, I end up dying, which kind of sucks. And Veigar ends up dying too. We actually all get wiped. But I felt like that was a play that we might have had to go for in order for us to maybe get some kind of lead. So I don't think it was a bad play. As a result of this, we actually lose 2 inhibs. They have 3 people up. And all of us are dead. But Gwen is spawning. So we know that they can get 2 inhibs. But they can't end the game. So we can, again, just use this to stall, look for another opportunity, and see if we can come out in those fights and maybe push our lead from there. Now, right now, with 2 inhibs down, we have to be conscious of like what their next play will be. Now, let's take a look at the minimap here. We have 2 inhibs down, we have top tower, 2 top towers, and an inhib that's still alive, and then we have Baron coming up. So we can assume that they're going to be around the top side here, pressuring the Baron or pushing top, because they don't have anything to get on the bottom side of the map or the mid lane, because both our mid inhib and our bot inhib is down. And so we're going to try to use this knowledge to sort of prepare ourselves for what the enemies are going to do next, and we're going to hover around the top side. So Baron isn't spawned yet, but we're going to be like hovering around the top side here. Urgot, Ezreal are top, Morgana's here as well. And so Yasuo is mid lane. So I'm like, maybe this is an opening for us to maybe fight, but we kind of get stuffed on the engage, and once 4 of them show up, I'm like, okay, we'll chill. But I wanted to itch at it at least just to see if it was a potential opportunity. Now, we made sure that they don't push in here, and we made sure to stay alive as well and not go for anything too crazy. But right now, Baron is coming up, so we could assume that they want this. And so we're going to have to see. Since we have a ward on Baron, we can pretty much tell if they're going to go for Baron or not. And so we're hovering as a team. Gwen's pushing mid. And so they actually start going for this Baron. Again, our team fight isn't as good as theirs at the moment because they're really strong. So we're looking for the steal here. And I'm going to be playing around the Veigar as well. Jarvan gets the steal here. I tell my whole team to back because we don't want to be dead here. He jumps in on the Veigar, so I'm like, okay. Well, this might be a pick. We'll see. But we actually weren't able to kill him here. And I actually just like straight up into with that flash. So that sucks. But this whole time we're stalling because Gwen is pushing mid. So honestly, not too bad. Now at this point, we got to make sure that we defend. And so I have to pray. I have to pray that Veigar and Nautilus are able to defend here. Now, Gwen also has TP, so she's going to come back here, TP to lane, and actually defend as well. And so we have a pretty good amount of people here to defend, and they were not really that healthy either. And so my team is able to actually hold them back. Even getting like 1 or 2 kills on them is fine, because they can't push in. We have Baroned up minions, and so it's going to be a lot harder for them to actually commit to the push here. They just kind of just inted this. So honestly, really good for us. We kind of just had to pray that they actually win this. It was bad that I died though, because then I can't like actually stop this push. Because I died, they actually went for the push, right? And potentially they can end. But my team played it well. Jarvan also stole the Baron, so there's like a glimmer of hope in this game. So the situation's kind of reset here. Everyone's up. We have 2 inhibs down though, so we still need to make sure that the super minions don't really push into us. And so now we just look for the opportunity here, see what the enemies do. Now we see Gwen getting really aggressive on the Elise, and she's actually doing so much damage. I thought maybe she should just back here, but she actually ended up killing the Elise, which was huge for us. Again, we're stalling, making sure Veigar gets farm and gets strong, but also we have numbers advantage. So maybe we can use this to our advantage to maybe get more kills, force a fight, and potentially use this to like push. And so we push in the mid wave. We have 4 people here, Gwen's bot. We're collectively moving as a team into their bot side jungle, and we're going to look for an opportunity here. We don't know what the enemies are going to do. We know Morgana's backing, Urgot's bot, and look, if you catch here, Ezreal's actually pushing mid, so I'm like, this is kind of int. So we're going to catch him here. Hit the Randuins on him. Make sure he doesn't get away. He flashes, ease. That was super greedy by Ezreal. But that was our opening for us to actually go and be aggressive now. Ezreal's dead for 50 seconds, so we gotta do something with this. So we push in mid, but we don't continue to push in mid because inhib is down, and I don't think we can like full on go in to the inhib. So we actually rotate bot as a team and start taking this tower. So honestly, looking pretty good. They only have 3 people defending because Yasuo's mid lane. Yasuo's back here now, but we get the tower. And I don't think we can continue to fight. Ezreal's going to come up, and so we're just going to back here. Again, we're somewhat playing it slow, making sure that we don't take too many risks, because right now they're pretty strong, and we're not as strong as them. Now, this was kind of int. I didn't want to go in here. This was kind of scary. But what matters is that everyone stays alive here. Ezreal's back here, and so he can fight. And so we just want to leave and sort of use what we have now, which is the mid inhib down. We're going to use that and try to determine our next move. Now at this point, the situation is again reset. Everyone's up and Baron is up. And so I'm grouping with my team to make sure that if anything happens, I'm there. And I want to stick around the Veigar as well to make sure that he's doing damage. And so Dragon and Baron are both coming up, but they position themselves all around Baron. And so we're going to go and try to contest and pressure. Again, maybe just going for the steal is the better play here. So Jarvan goes in, actually steals the Baron again. Now I go in and follow up. I see Veigar's getting jumped on. I just want to make sure Yasuo dies and Veigar stays alive. And if you see this fight here, we actually ended up wiping them and making sure that we end the game now. Everyone's dead, and so we're just going to push in, and this is our angle to win. But I want to sort of bring up a point on your mentality when it comes to being in that kind of losing position. You sort of have to play towards your win cons because right now we had Veigar. And so Veigar is going to get stronger and stronger as we go. So we want to play around him, but also try to find mistakes that they make, miss positions on the map, take advantage of those, and see if you can actually pick up and get the kill. And so that you can maybe move as 5 while you're at a numbers advantage, and then maybe pressure as a team from there. Again, these situations can get very coin flippy. You almost have to coin flip stuff in order for you to actually come out on top in these games. Generally, you don't want to be in this position. You want to try to prevent it and try to end the game like mid-game, but sometimes the enemies get really fed. And so you kind of have to play responsibly, play around your win cons, and try to do what you can to find opportunities for you to actually do stuff on the map. But yeah, that was the game. Hope you guys enjoyed, hope you guys learned, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching. Again, I do coaching. All the information is down below. And if you want to check out my other videos, then totally can. Totally should. And yeah, see you guys next time. You can go now. Click one of these.